Sam Amadi, it will be unsurprising if Shettima is replaced. Tinubu had difficult history with deputies. Sam Amadi, the director of the Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, said it will be unsurprising if Vice President Kashim Shettima is replaced on the ticket of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC for the 2027 presidential election. So that means, if he does it, it's not going to be shocking. It's not going to shock anybody because he's always had issues with deputies. Probably when he was a governor, he also had issues with his deputy governor. So this one too, obviously, is having issues with the deputy, the vice president of the country. So it's not going to be surprising to anybody. Amadi spoke in a chat with Arise TV on Saturday. He was reacting to the chaos that ensued during an APC Northeast Summit there, where some speakers endorsed Tinubu for the 2027 presidential election while omitting Shettima's name from the ticket. Amadi said the omission is an indication of a certain language control arising from the reality of politics. He said Tinubu has a history of finding it difficult to work with deputies, adding that the president had 3 deputies during the 2 terms as Lagos governor. Oh, really? 3? Why? President Tinubu has clearly shown that he finds it difficult to work with deputies. As governor of Lagos State, that means he is obviously a dictator. He doesn't want to work with anybody. He wants to be, he's an autocratic leader. He's not a people's person. He's not a leader that is democratic. And so he wants to make all the decisions alone. He doesn't want to work with the members of his team like, okay, let's work together, let's ask questions, ask for their opinions and all of that. He wants to do things on his own. And that is why he's having issues with his deputy. Because why? President Tinubu has clearly shown that he finds it difficult to work with deputies. As governor of Lagos State, he had the distinction of having 3 deputies, each of whom was thrown out in a very chaotic and unpalatable process, and their careers got largely derailed. Amadi said, wow, it is very low. Now we are dealing with something bigger than Lagos, and APC minders are right that when you are at the level of picking a candidate, you can only choose one candidate, but again, conventionally, the language and communication of endorsements is very clear. The omission of Vice President Shettima's name at the APC Northeast Summit is an indication of a certain language control arising from the reality of politics. Okay, says well. David K. Costin says Hausa people cannot agree with this except they pump them a large money. Somebody Michael says, I think you are talking something here. Of course he's talking something. If somebody during his tenure as Lagos State Governor had 3 deputies, then that is something. He's really talking something. So that means he changed deputies twice. The first one that probably entered with him, they had issues with him, he changed him, put another one. Then during his second tenure, he was like, I don't want this one again, and changed him again, and put another person. Wow, that is serious. Michael Lotu says, India, which one be Tinubu's difficult history with deputies? Maybe now they say them won't use Muslim tickets to Islamize Nigeria for 2027. Maybe Jagaban may want a Northern Christian as a running mate, or VP to shut up your naysayers and the spoilers from Marochiko land. Now, what for you, my Lotu? And do your social and political thoughts in your gully erosion ravage. Wetin happen, Mike? Wetin happen? Is it not the Muslim ticket that we are still using right now? Is it working? So why does it want to remove him? Why? It is real low. Something Oyebanji says, Tinubu has difficult history with deputies is undeniable. The record is there in the Lagos State Archive, obviously. I'm sure that if I go to Google now, I didn't know about that. I'm sure that if I go to Google now, it's going to give me that information. Obviously. Emmanuel Ekechukwu said exactly 3 deputies in 8 years and always having issues with his governor servants. He's just a greedy and power drunk person. Exactly. He's an autocratic person. He likes to make decisions alone. He doesn't want the input of anybody. And I think that's the kind of person that he is. Success Catalyst says, don't underestimate Jagaban. He can rig anything riggable. Noise cannot remove, except the same force of rigging is used by the opposition. INEC will always do the bidding of the highest spender. God will help us. Mohammed Thani Azan says, if choice that he will know that before 12 noon, on election the APC is gone. Okay, now let's see how that goes. Olowoniyi says, I also think that APC and PBT will not want to make the mistake they made during the last election by going for Muslim tickets. That method created a lot of enemies for himself. This time around, he will want to take caution, so he will be looking for a Christian. Okay, now. Aliko Justina says, you can only work with yes, sir, deputy. Everything he says must be it exactly. You dare not refuse his bid. That is the kind of person he is. Makes decision alone. Doesn't listen to anybody's opinion. Whatever he says is final. He doesn't think, his decision is wrong. Maybe when he wanted to remove the first subsidy, they'll be like, President, don't remove it now. Let's put some strategies in place. Let's do that. He said, no, that's what I want to remove the first subsidy. And that's the kind of person that he is. That is why he will be finding it difficult to work with people. That's just it. Okoli says, this man knows history. When Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, his deputy Senator Akeli did not spend 3 months, imagine, before he went ahead to choose Femi Pedro. Tinubu was the only governor whose deputy did not attend the ceremony of his 3 months in office. Even after the choice of Femi Pedro, he still fell out with him. Now, wow, it is well. The scholar always says he is coming to choose Sam Amadi as the VP. Emmanuel Kechuku says that's not even the issue yet. Tolerance of your appointees, 3 deputy governors, and issues with Fashola and Bode, even now Sanwo-Olu. May God deliver Nigeria. Exactly, he's always having issues with people. Why? He has issues with everybody. Femi says absolutely he has problem with Akele Bokno. Also with Femi Pedro at some point. I think he needs to work on that. He also has a problem with his loyalists at some point. With Fashola and Bode, even with the former vice president, even with Sanwo-Olu. Sanwo-Olu is the one currently seeing Shege now. If you start raising people without holding their hands, Abi, he's always having issues with people. NSLA says Shettima and Tinubu will fail hopefully together. My listeners, over to you. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.